announced. And I stood here last year, which I have to say was like such a surreal moment for the community to start to come together and be featured in different things. And I made it to the weekend paper, which the amount of people that reached out to me and was like, look at this, did you see your picture, did you see this? And it was the Weekend Gazette, and it's kind of like that surreal, like 15 minutes of fame thing for a second, you know what I mean? Like, just to know that we're like shining the light in the dark corners of rooms, and they highlighted that in my speech from last year. And again, it was the weekend paper, so it was September. And then out of nowhere, my sister also made the paper in September, and however, she was featured in her obituary. And so Shea Burtonette, September 12th of 2023, left this world, and it was two opposite ends of the sidewalk, one shining lights in the corners of the rooms and one sitting in the dark. Or was she? Was she really sitting in the dark? My sister was 27 years old and full of laughter, full of life, and a personality that was unmatched by so many. When she passed away, we received so many messages about how she supported someone going to rehab. She took someone in at one point that was able to get them off the street, that she was a positive call in the middle of the night, and that she would help take care of people's children, that she was giving rides to people to go receive help, go to meetings, to get their lives on track. Just this past Monday, in a random turn of events, I'd returned to the Blair County Prison, where I run a group for reentry. And I met this girl who started to talk about, while she was upstate, that she had met somebody in her cell, that she had been so inspiring to her and giving her all this advice and direction, and that she was very sad to find that she had passed away. And when I found out that that was my sister, I knew that it was my calling to be sitting here today. I knew that her work and her time was very much needed, and I know that even though she couldn't get it right at times, she was working in such a right way. She was a light, a very dim light when her darkness would take over, a light that knew how to turn on, knew how to shine, knew how to work, but was missing the switch at times. She had infectious laughter, a personality that was outgoing, and she was navigating her life in ways that seemed to never set the pace on just the right track. When she was good, she was great, and when she was bad, she was at her worst. There were moments over her journey with substance use that we weren't sure we'd see her the next day, and plenty of times that phone call came that we thought that that was it. And the reality of that call did come. Her life gone too soon and young, and it leaves a void in many places that you're just never fully prepared for. Last year, I spoke about the Good Samaritan Law, and I've participated in Peer Stars outreach for that again this year. However, for this day, I want to talk about harm reduction. And I know to very many that that is a taboo subject in so many areas at this point. A taboo idea to most. What could harm reduction possibly do but enable use, enable choices, support the person on their continued pathway to substances? Harm reduction is not setting that pace. Harm reduction is an evidence-based approach that is critical to engage people who use drugs with equipping them with life-saving tools and information. This can be education about the ramifications of substance use and the ways that relapse can affect you. The possibilities of using after long periods of time might seem enabling to some, but it is education to others. It's the opportunity to make conscious and active choices. It's the ability to understand the body chemistry and the way that our brains work. It's to give the possibility to stop and say, wait, maybe this won't go so well for me this time. It's providing safe environments and open doors that allow people to enter and feel supported at their lowest. So when they're ready to take those steps in the right direction, they have the resources that they need. That they have a place that is judgment-free and secure. The outreach is education. It's providing the knowledge. It's to take away the things that could potentially make it hard for them in their futures to live successful and happy lives. By providing education to the community and the families about the use of naloxone, MAT care, and other medication treatment options to break the stigma and allow them to support their loved ones. It's the ability to hold conversations in rooms without feeling shame, the opportunity to hold your head high and not be known as the person you had once been, by educating on proper recovery language and showing that there is a community of people out here ready to support you on your continued journey into recovery. Harm reduction also offers the ability to find what you need when you need it. It isn't often that someone wakes up at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning and ready to find their peace and journey into recovery. It's usually when times start to get tough, and they need to know that they have the middle of the night phone call. We want to secure pathways to the recovery and find avenues to support to do that. So I go back to the statement that my sister was sitting in the dark, and I don't think that she was. I feel that she was sitting with some of the tools, but not completely surrounded by those who knew how to work a flashlight. Do I feel that my sister would be alive if harm reduction was met in these areas? I cannot answer that fully. I know that having a safe space, having people surround her that could have been educated on the use of Narcan, testing strips in her pocket, and information on changes of substances may have set her up with more success. To say, hey, you, user in the corner of your brain, can you possibly stop and think? Someone else is thinking of you. Here are all these tools that you're able to use, able to access, able to have near you, so you have the ability to protect yourself. I didn't bring them up here, but I did carry along her shoes that she had worn. I take them places with me often, and I wear them as a reminder of the roads that she had walked, and I wear them as a reminder of the roads she won't be taking, the things that will not be able to be part of. I wear them because as I walk in those shoes, I'm able to remain aware of the purpose that we have as individuals to show up, step out, and give hope to those in the times to reduce the percentages of overdose by shedding lights into the lives who struggle. And how do we already provide harm reduction? By showing up, by speaking out, by accepting all individuals into the recovery world, by smiling at those strangers on the street, by continuing to invite them in, by showcasing how recovery for so many is long-term and amazing. certified recovery specialists, peer support specialists, case managers, drug and alcohol, PSI, the rehabs that all show up to these events are already actively participating in harm reduction. If you want to know what you can do as a community to support harm reduction, you can do this. And you can show up, reach out, and reach in. Thank you.